Grant Hill was on his way to becoming an all-time great as he set new records, pioneered a new playing style,
and that might be the best kind of bucket, George, because that could wake everybody up.
and beat Michael Jordan in all-star votes.
So what was your first matchup with him like?
Man, I just wanted to go at him.
But one fateful decision on April 15th, 2000,
Making your return to the practice court after more than 2 months, how good does it feel to get back out there with your teammates?
changed his career trajectory forever.
But we get 4 years of injuries, you start to question yourself.
First, let's recap the sensation that was Grant Hill.
We'll get not only his teammates on their feet, but the fans up as well.
Like MJ, Grant Hill first got nationwide attention for the incredible things he did in college. He entered the famed Duke University basketball program in 1991.
Grant Hill taking it inside hard, he's got 6.
And after 4 years, he left with a legendary college career that ranks amongst the greatest of all time. Hill played an integral role in leading the Duke Blue Devils to back-to-back college championships in 1991 and 1992. While in his final year, Hill once again brought Duke to the finals, but came up short. During that epic run, Hill won the nation's top defensive player award in 1993, while in 1994, Hill was named the ACC Player of the Year. Hill was actually the first player in ACC history to collect more than 1,900 points, 700 rebounds, 400 assists, 200 steals, and 100 blocked shots. These insane numbers show how he dominated the game in every aspect.
He can't. Grant Hill flexes in.
In fact, Hill is often thought of as an earlier version of LeBron James, someone who was big for their position and can handle the ball like a point guard while scoring with the best of them. None of this would come as a surprise to those who knew Hill when he was little. Growing up as a single child, Hill spent countless hours dribbling the ball on the driveway of his childhood home, despite not even having a net. In fact, Hill loved basketball so much that when his parents were busy and he didn't have a ball, he would find some quiet place and simply use his imagination as he went through various dribbling moves and shot fadeaways. He took that so seriously that he would be sweating from simply imagining himself playing. That's definitely the kind of obsession someone like Michael Jordan possessed. So, in order to rival him, Hill matched his obsession.
Hill with a very impressive finish.
And when it came time to square off with Jordan in the NBA,
So what was your first matchup with him like?
Man, I just wanted to go at him. I crossed him up. I remember I was like geeked about that.
Hill didn't back down one bit. In the 1994 NBA draft, 2 players were selected in front of Grant Hill. Similarly, in 1984, 2 players went before Michael Jordan as well. So, both of them started their NBA careers in eerily similar ways. MJ went to a struggling Bulls team, while Hill went to MJ's biggest rival, the Detroit Pistons, who were attempting to rebuild after many of their championship stars had either retired or left the team. It would be an understatement to say that Hill started off his NBA career with a bang, at a time when the league was in a limbo state, with the past greats retiring and Jordan in the middle of his first retirement. The NBA was looking for their next superstar, and Hill seamlessly filled that space.
I was going to say, even if it did go out, he was there for the follow-up.
By averaging 20, 6, and 5, with almost 2 steals a game in his rookie season. His game was undeniable. At 6'8", he had one of the quickest crossovers in the league, along with dazzling speed in transition. And if you tried to meet him at the rim, you were going to end up on a poster. Just check out how easily he broke down the best wing defender of that era, Scottie Pippen, and dunked on him. His fan-friendly game even made him the first rookie to lead an NBA All-Star fan ballot. The following year, Michael Jordan made his return to the NBA, but that didn't dissuade the fans from voting Hill over MJ for the All-Star game. That just goes to show that shifting tides as fans and media were acknowledging the next NBA superstar. As a point forward, Hill led the league in triple-doubles, while as a member of the Pistons, he led the squad in scoring, rebounding, and assists in 3 different seasons, making him and Wilt Chamberlain the only 2 players in NBA history to do so. Perhaps feeling this pressure, Hill forced himself to play through a minor ankle injury, which he received on April 15, 2000, just a week prior to the playoffs starting. However, during the course of the first round, his ankle injury got worse, and he was forced to call it quits and watch as his team lost once again. But that minor ankle injury would act as the Achilles heel for Grant Hill's career. During his Pistons tenure, Hill never really got the opportunity to play with another star. So, when he was traded to the Orlando Magic, he found his Scottie Pippen, as the Magic had also brought in Tracy McGrady to pair with Hill. On paper, this dynamic duo had everything to win a championship, or at least contended for one. However, that one decision to play through his ankle injury came back to haunt Hill. He only played 4 games with the Magic in his first season, 14 in his second season, and 29 in his third. Each time, it was his ankles that took him away from the game he loved. In fact, in his 4th season, he was forced to sit out the entire year. The string of bad luck took away 4 prime years from Grant Hill.
But we get 4 years of injuries, you start to question your body's ability to stay healthy.
And despite that, he came back and averaged 18, 8, and 5 in the 2002 and 2003 season. This is almost tragic, as it shows that Hill would have been doing at a bare minimum for the past 4 years if his injuries had gotten the best of him. Meanwhile, Tracy McGrady came into his own as one of the most lethal offensive weapons in NBA history, adding another layer of tragedy as the duo was never able to showcase their true potential. To make matters worse, yes, things are gonna get even worse for Hill. In 2003, Hill underwent a major surgical procedure in which doctors refractured his ankle and realigned it with his leg bone. 5 days later, Hill had contracted a potentially fatal MRSA infection and required doctor intervention. He would have to take antibiotics for the next 6 months to beat this illness. However, Hill's history is one of perseverance, and even though he had been thoroughly tested by fate and luck, Hill never quit and would come to reinvent his game.
The inbounded Hill catches and lays it in, and the Magic lead by 2.
It's safe to say that no player could go through this many injuries and be the same guy. In fact, Hill said the injuries really broke his mindset, as he went from thinking he was invincible and could beat anyone to just being happy to play the game that he loved. That competitive edge had taken a deadly blow. Despite that, when Hill did return, he averaged 19 points per game on a 50% shooting and was voted an All-Star starter again. However, by that time, the Magic had moved on from T-Mac, and Hill would continue to struggle with other injuries like a nagging groin issue and a sports hernia. Soon, he was faced with an ultimatum: retire or sign with another team. Hill decided to fight on as he linked a deal with the Phoenix Suns in 2007.
Our newest acquisition, Grant Hill,
and reinvented his game from an offensive juggernaut to a lockdown defender. In fact, for the first time in his career, Hill managed to play 82 games and also make a deep playoff run during the 2010 playoffs. Although Hill came into the league with the expectation of being the next MJ, he hung up his basketball shoes as an inspiration for other injured stars who could look at Hill's career arc and his determination and willpower and use it to keep themselves motivated through the highs and lows. Nowadays, Hill might be known as one of the big what-ifs in NBA history, but he still managed to earn one of the biggest and most prestigious honors. On September 7, 2018, Hill was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. When asked about his induction, Hill stated that he didn't need the Hall of Fame stamp to make him feel proud about his NBA career. The fact that he was able to overcome several horrible injuries and still played meaningful basketball afterwards was more fulfilling and rewarding than the Hall of Fame jacket. Ultimately, that will be Hill's legacy. Someone who was on the all-time great trajectory and was knocked down over and over again, and yet, he didn't allow his circumstances to get the better of him. Instead, he persevered and overcame his struggles to become a Hall of Famer.